Today is primary day in the New Jersey race for governor, and attention is on turnout, but also on President Trump and how much his agenda weighs on the minds of voters. One Democratic candidate, Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, told Fox 5 New York that as she focuses on issues like housing affordability and New Jersey's power grid, national politics like President Trump's tariffs have impacted her constituents.
A developer was telling me he's stopped all development because HVAC prices are going up 30 to 40%. So I think it's affecting everyday New Jerseyans, what is coming from Washington, not to mention the fear that is going on in different communities.
Over the weekend, the Democratic National Committee Chairman Ken Martin visited Somerset County and told voters there that stopping Donald Trump starts right here in New Jersey. 4 years ago, Republican State Assemblyman Jack Ciattarelli lost to Governor Phil Murphy by a little more than 3 points. He's running again, and he also told Fox 5 New York he wouldn't allow any city or county in the state to become a so-called sanctuary for illegal aliens if he were governor.
The first job of any governor is to provide for the public safety, and we'll work in partnership with the federal government to guarantee that. I think the people all across this country have spoken, and Donald Trump performed pretty well in New Jersey. So obviously his policies, at least among the 2 million people that voted for him, are something they're in agreement with.
While New Jersey is pretty blue by all accounts, they have elected Republican governors in the past. This primary comes 7 months after President Trump flipped 5 counties in New Jersey from blue to red. 43% of the Latino vote went to President Trump. That was 15 points higher than in 2020.
Look, I think as we roll into New Jersey, we're very excited about the opportunity we have there. The people of New Jersey are ready for a change.
Michael Watley is the chair of the Republican National Committee, and we spoke with him Monday.
What we've seen over the course of the last 20, 25 years with Democratic control is that is taxes are too high, services are not what they need to be, and the people of New Jersey are ready for a change. We have a great opportunity coming out of this cycle in 2024, where President Trump brought us in a lot closer than we had been in the past, within 5 points. We saw a governor's race 4 years ago, 3.5%. So I think that we are definitely ready for a change in New Jersey. The people want to see a common sense agenda that's going to be brought to bear there.
What kind of data are you going to look at out of Tuesday, knowing it's a primary? But so what are you going to sort of be tracking out of that? Is it like, what is the Latino vote doing?
Yeah, we want to see basically what are the raw vote totals that are coming out, how many Republicans are turning out, how many people are voting in the Republican primary, what is that enthusiasm going to lead us to? You know, as we go into this election cycle, to win in New Jersey, it's going to take the same fundamentals that it takes in any battleground state. You have to have a really good candidate run a really good race. You have to get out the vote, and you have to protect the ballot. So we're going to be working with the New Jersey GOP and the candidates to make sure that we have the grassroots programs in place, and we have a statewide election integrity program that's going to be really focused on making it easy to vote and hard to cheat.
There are other off-year elections, right? This year, Virginia's governor race has apparently no primary. They were canceled because Abigail Spanberger is the only Democrat and Winsome Earl-Sears is the only Republican. She's the current lieutenant governor there. What are you guys planning to do there for the rest of the year, if anything, to help out Winsome Sears? Because the polling, at least initially, has Spanberger a little bit ahead.
Yeah, basically the same type of approach that we're going to be taking in New Jersey, which is really truly to work with the candidate and Winsome Sears. She's doing a great job, and she's going to run a great race. Work with the state party, work with the volunteers, make sure that we're getting out the vote, and that we have the election integrity program lined up and running in every one of the counties across the state.
Virginia is a little bit of a different animal, right? It's purple-ish, but it was blue and then it went red. So is that a tricky state?
Well, it's a very tricky state. I think it's a battleground state. You know, what Glenn Youngkin did in 2021 was show us a roadmap of what it takes for you to win in a state like Virginia. And he was such a trailblazer by focusing on the issues that the voters cared about. And obviously in 2021, school closures coming out of COVID was a very hot topic, and making sure that the schools were going to be teaching the kids and allow the parents a say in the education. Governor Youngkin was able to kind of capture that, but he also, focused on the fact that we had 12 years of Democratic control in Richmond, and that taxes were getting to be too high, and that the services that the state was providing the taxpayers were not what they needed to be. That is something that Winsome Sears is going to have to continue. She's going to be focused on, what are the issues that the Virginia voters care about, putting solutions on the table, and relentlessly campaigning for them.
We are also, sir, very soon going to have a mayoral primary in New York. I think Mayor Adams is running as an independent now, and it seems to be on the Democratic ticket between former Governor Cuomo and a Democratic socialist named Zoran Mamdani. We know Cuomo has his issues, right? His handling of COVID and the sexual harassment accusations. So what would it mean if Mamdani became the next mayor of New York?
Well, I think it's very troubling right now. What you're seeing is every single candidate in the Democratic primary for mayor is a jailbreak to the left. They are doing everything they can to defend illegal immigrants. They're fighting harder for illegal immigrants than they are their own constituents. We're seeing example after example where they're running out on housing issues, where they're running to the left on tax issues, where they're running to the left on every single issue. That's not what the people of New York want. What they want are solutions. What they want is a safe community. They want their kids to be educated. They want to be able to get a good job. They need the economy to be good. And these are all things that the Democrats right now in their jailbreak to the left are just ignoring and posturing to really, truly be the most radical progressive person that's going to come out of that primary.
Okay, let's go into the future and pretend it's mid-July. The big, beautiful bill is signed. What are Republicans focused on moving forward ahead of next year's midterms, and how does it differ, knowing historically that when a party's in power, things usually go the reverse direction in that first midterm? Yeah,
the midterm election cycles are going to be all about the agenda, right? President Trump ran on a common sense pro-America agenda, which really is rebuild the economy, restore the southern border, make sure that America is strong, and we're going to protect our kids and our communities. And so our agenda is definitely wrapped up with the big, beautiful bill. We've got a lot of provisions in there that are going to help advance our economy, that are going to help build a wall and provide funding for ICE, going to make sure that we unleash American energy, which is absolutely critical. So there's a lot in the big, beautiful bill. We need to get that done. But then we also need to keep focusing on the fact that this agenda is bigger than just one bill. We need to see the rescissions package that the president sent to Congress get passed so that we can cut down on spending. We need to make sure that we get grocery prices, gasoline prices, housing prices continue to track lower. We've seen very good positive indications in all of those indicators so far. President Trump, under his economic stewardship since he took office, has created 700,000 jobs here in America. We need to do more and we need to do better. Real wages are going up. Inflation is going down. Those are very important. But for us, in the midterm, this is all about promises made and promises kept.
It sounds more policy than messaging.
Well, you got to message the delivery, right? I mean, you need to make sure that people understand that President Trump is keeping those promises. You need to help make sure that people understand it is not a coincidence. Elections have consequences. What we're seeing in California right now with the riots, what we're seeing across the country in Democratic cities is that Democratic leadership is failed leadership. Republicans are listening to the voters. They're understanding the issues they care about and putting solutions on the table.
We are far out from midterms, obviously, but given what you see in the Democratic Party right now, they're infighting who their party stars are right now. What do you think at this stage of the game? I know it's still early, but what do you think it portends for the GOP's fight next year?
Look, the Democrats right now, every single person who wants to be a leader in that party, whether it's Jasmine Crockett or it's AOC or it's Bernie Sanders, what they want is to double down on the same failed policies that they lost on in 2024. At its core, 2024 was a repudiation of the Democrats' open border, inflationary spending, weak America agenda. And it was really ushering in President Trump and a common sense agenda. Right now, the Democrats are doing everything they can to double down on the same failed policies. You've got Kamala Harris out there saying, if only I'd been on the ticket longer, then we could have won. Tim Walz saying, only if I had been more aggressive in terms of pursuing this campaign agenda, then we would have had a chance. The fact is the American people rejected that agenda. They knew it, and they don't want it. They don't want it today. And so really, truly, as we look at this agenda right now, there's a huge, big, bright line between the Republicans and the Democrats. I feel, pretty good that as long as the Republicans continue to deliver every single day, we're going to be in a position, have an opportunity to expand our majorities in the House and the Senate.
after the dust-up between President Trump and Elon Musk, the president said if Elon funds Democratic candidates who vote against the Big Beautiful Bill, and we all know how Elon feels about the Big Beautiful Bill, then he'll have to deal with the consequences. We then saw Elon Musk retweet and positively comment on Vice President Vance's posts, as well as President Trump's posts. Do you think that's a threat? Do you think Elon Musk funding Democratic candidates is a real possibility?
Look, I'm disappointed that we have seen Elon Musk taking the shots at the president that he has. What we need to stay focused on right now is getting this agenda passed. This is a pro-America agenda that the president is pushing every single day. His entire cabinet is pushing every single day. We need to get the Big Beautiful Bill done. Elon Musk made a lot of great contributions to the campaign and to, the transition period and getting Doge set up. And we're grateful for those efforts. But right now, we have one president, we have one Republican Party, we have one agenda, and we're working every single day to implement that agenda.
As you watch what's happening in California and the riots against immigration officials, just your brief thoughts about how the politics around this issue have changed from 2017, 2018, and Trump 1.0 versus now.
Look, this is the direct result of the Democrats' policies on illegal immigration. The fact is, Joe Biden rolled out the red carpet and ushered in 15 to 20 million illegal aliens into the United States. They don't want to leave. And what we're seeing right now is Democrat leaders in California, whether it's Gavin Newsom or it's Mayor Bass, are fighting harder for those illegal immigrants than they are for their own constituents, than the victims of the crimes that are being perpetrated by violent criminal illegal aliens. And basically what they're saying is, if you don't come in and arrest these people, if you don't deport them, then we will not riot. That is not an equation that is going to work. President Trump is very committed, and the American people voted for the deportation of violent criminal illegal aliens, shutting down that border and making sure that we're not going to have 15 to 20 million illegal aliens in the United States that should not be here.
Republican Party Chairman Michael Watley, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. It's great to be with you.